Hello beer tubers and welcome to another beer review with me, Peter, the master of hoppage. Today checking out some more Czech Pilsner that was given to me by Josef. So thanks a ton to Josef for the beer. This is another beer he brought back from the Czech Republic, and it's one that was requested by Wendelhorn. He requested a few Czech beers, and this was one of them. So this one used to be imported to Denmark years ago. Since then, I can see that they've changed the label and artwork, but this is the Rebel Svetli Lechak Original Premium, a 4.8% Svetli Lechak Czech Pale Lager or Czech Pilsner if you're not in Czech. And this is 4.8%, but I just noticed that right now. So he said he actually didn't get this in the Czech Republic. He got it, was it Slovakia or something like that? He couldn't find it in the Czech Republic for some reason. But he found it in another country. Was it Slovakia? I can't remember. It was something like that. But he found a bottle there and picked one up. But he said it might be old because it was in a supermarket on a shelf. And it is. This was brewed on the 17th of June last year. So it's maybe not totally fair to the product, but hey, let's do this anyways because it was requested by one of you guys, Wendelhorn. It expired on the 17th of June as well this year, so they give it 1 year of age, so we're actually drinking this past its due, but let's just try it anyways. So I got some info here from the brewery. They also call it a pale lager with distinctive, and they say it's got a distinctive bitter taste and strong hoppy aroma, and it is open fermented and matured or lagered at low temperatures. So, and they say they use traditional technology, so I'm guessing it's decoction mashed or something like that. And they say, did they say sauce hops? I think so. Or maybe they just didn't talk about hops. No, they do not. So, and I think I had this one back in the day, and I remember of the Czech beers, was this one of the ones I liked the most? I can't remember. I was never really that big into the Czech beers when I got them in the supermarket when I was younger, just because they were always also old. And then, you try stuff nowadays from modern place or just other producers that are not supermarket beers that are much better, even though some are good, like the Bernard. That was really nice. But let's check it out. So it pours a golden yellow color. There is definitely a bit of haze, and it's got a darker hue to it. So that could be signs of oxidation. Sitting on a shelf for a long time, you can get a bit of haziness in beers like this. It doesn't say if it's pasteurized or anything. But poured a very nice white head on this one. Let's check out the aroma on Rebel. Yeah, that smells old. It smells quite old. It's starting to go papery, almost sherry-like actually. Yeah, not much in terms of hop character. So this is definitely not a fair representation of the beer. But let's just see, review what we have in the glass. There's a sweet honey malt. I can definitely sense a floral presence and some spice. But this just reminds me why back in the day maybe I wasn't too into these beers, the Czech lagers, because this is what we got. It also smells sweeter actually. It's got a sweeter malt thing, almost lightly buttery actually, which is one of the things a lot of people associate with Czech beer, even though it's often not the case. Let's try it. Cheers. Thanks a ton, Josef. That tastes pretty macro. I think Rebel is a pretty big brewery. I do not know if they're owned by a bigger company. This kind of tastes like it was 17.95. We get that in supermarket here in cans. Really cheap. It's got similar vibes to that. I mean, I shouldn't give it too much beef because it's an older bottle. Actually, an expired bottle. Just compared to the Bernard, this is just miles behind. Miles. Slightly buttery, sherry-like flavor. So definitely oxidized. Again, the butteriness of diacetyl can be a thing brewers will like in their Czech beers. But for me, I prefer the ones that have, like, my favorite Czech lagers are like Vinohradsky's lagers and Tovarna's lagers. And we tried a few now, Britt and I. Also something with K. They have like a green paper label, one of them, and then a number, and then there's like a yellow, and I can't remember. They used to sell them on Breck beer. Those are also really good. But again, like they also need to be fresh. Like that's just a big thing. Like even lagers and they're pasteurized and all these things. Yeah, they might have a year shelf life, but they're still gonna be at the top of their game when they're really fresh. And this is really a testament to that. Like I didn't tasting it now. It tastes like it's also a sweeter, maltier beer, fresh, but it could have added more popping hop character. It pretty much tastes like a macro interpretation of Czech lager, and it tastes a bit similar to, maybe a bit more bitter than something like Pilsner Urquell, but it has the same kind of buttery vibe. And this is like the experience I've had with Pilsner Urquell. Maybe I should do a review of that beer, see if I can find it fresh. Because like this is the experience I've had with that beer in the past, and Czech beer in the past, before I started trying some really nice craft kind of examples that are like very Czech in profile with the sauce hops and everything, and like the really soft mouthfeels and whatnot. Like they're not as raspy and dry and bitter and like some like German pilsners. And you know, this just seems like that like kind of textbook thing that a lot of people associate with Czech pilsner. But I guess it comes down to splitting it up to Svetli Lečak maybe and Czech Pils. I mean, Urquell is the Czech Pilsner from Pilsen. And, you know, so that's usually the style-defining example. But I just much prefer the others. A little bit of, a peppery, slightly floral hop character. I don't know if I really want to rate this. It's not that great. It's not like abysmal, disgusting beer. I could definitely drink it. But I don't want to rate it because it's past its due. I think let's just take it with a grain of salt, but it's probably not much more than a 65 or something like that. Like it's just not that great. It just tastes quite macro. And it doesn't really taste like that. This was a good beer at one point, or a really good lager. I'd much rather, like if we're talking bigger breweries, I'd much rather have Bernard's. That was just such an awesome, like there are a few gems of these kind of macro-esque or big brewed Czech beers, but this right now is not one of them. But again, it's hard to say. Whenever I go to the Czech Republic, I'll have to try it fresh on draft and try it unfiltered maybe and see what I think. But yeah, like a 65 or something like that. Like I'll give it a pass for it being somewhat Czech in style, but it's like not much more than that. So yeah, that does it for the review of the Rebel Original Premium, or Svetli Lečak. Thanks a ton, Joseph. Anyways, I mean, you also told me it's probably going to be old and everything, but hey, it was requested, so we should do it. It's always fun to see, new beers that you guys want to see videos on. And I just recently found out, I forgot about it. Some Ryan Mooney asked for a battle of Parabola versus Double Barrel Parabola. That's going to happen soon, I think. I need to go get bottles of that because we can get it locally. But yeah, this was whatever, really, and a whatever experience. So again, thanks, Joseph, and thanks a ton for the recommendation, Wendelhorn. So if you guys had Rebel, and especially also if you had it fresh, I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. Is it like a really good Czech Pils? Is it just because I'm drinking an old bottle? And again, take the rating with a grain of salt because it's not fresh. But yeah, if you had this one, let me know. As always, remember to comment, subscribe, check out the Facebook fan page and Twitter and Instagram. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and ring the bell for future notifications about videos. And I want to say cheers and see you guys in another video.